Welcome to the Geeks 31 Days of Horror for Halloween. This is Alil.
This is Steve.
And this is Sean.
And tonight we're reviewing The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Rah. I don't know. I don't know what to say. So for those of you who have not been with us before, we'll play for you our rating system.
This has a rating system in place that we like to call 0 to 0. If whatever horror movie we're reviewing is terrifying only to the most infantile who get nightmares from PG-13 reboots, it gets a 0. If it's a gorgasm-inducing slaughter party that satiates your most devious and monstrous desires, it gets a hero.
A cruise sailing from Varna.
A cruise? A cruise.
Did I say cruise?
You did.
I said a crew.
Oh, I thought you said a cruise.
No.
I was like, God,
I mean, it's the Royal Caribbean cruise sailing from Bulgaria.
Now there's a movie, Dracula on a cruise.
Let's write it, Steve. Why'd you already give it away? From Bulgaria by the Black Sea to England, they find that they're carrying a very dangerous piece of cargo. The Last Voyage of the Demeter stars a lot of people. Corey Hawkins, Liam Cunningham, Chris Whaley, David. I always butcher his name. I don't know why I can't ever say
Desmelchian.
And a whole bunch of others. So the Last Voyage of the Demeter, a Dracula movie, Dracula origin tale, a movie that would have been a good idea if they wanted to build off a shared horror universe. That this would have been a good movie to do it. I give this movie a high sidekick. I actually like the story. I don't know, the captain of the ship. I love his voice. Like every time he talked, I don't know what it was. I just liked his voice. I thought the movie was fine.
You would really love him a lot more if you watched Game of Thrones. He talks a lot in that show. Just
great.
So you know.
I'll just watch this movie again.
Jon Snow.
No, I thought the movie was fine. It was interesting.
King of the North.
It gives you that claustrophobic feel. I liked how Dracula looked. I liked we've heard of this type of thing before in other movies. He's got a feed to get more human-like. I kind of wish we would have figured out how he would have got, how they captured him and put him in this box to get him on this ship. Or if they didn't explain.
He put himself in the box and shipped himself to the ship.
Did he ship himself?
Have you seen the movie Dracula?
The original Dracula?
Even Bram Stoker's Dracula. This is based on one chapter of that book.
Yeah,
he ships himself to England to go find Mina.
Yeah. A long time ago. It's been Bram Stoker's Dracula I haven't seen since the 90s.
That movie's wild, bro.
So I've watched Embrace of the Vampire a lot. That's with Alyssa Milano. She gets naked. That's about it. So
cool.
We'll review that one day. All right, so I give it a high sidekick. I enjoyed it. So Steve?
So he gets a low sidekick from me. Did not much like it. This movie's biggest curse for me is that it's boring. And that's one of the worst things you can be for me. I did not find anything on the ship terribly scary, it was just one scene into the next scene into the next scene. It didn't seem like this should have been this big of a problem to have. They didn't seem to put that much effort into trying to find this motherfucker during the day.
They sure the fuck didn't. I agree with you on that.
Also, I don't want to spoil anything, but I have some real big problems with the end of this movie. Real big. But we'll start with some of the good stuff. I like the fact that little kids are not safe. Nobody's safe. I like that. I thought it was cool when they burst into flames and shit.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. That was not bad. We've seen that done way worse. So that was good. That's about it. I didn't really like the look of Dracula. Like, you know what, it would have been fun is if they would have actually done some sort of practical effects with him. He never was. It was just CGI 100%, and it looked like it. That was one of the big problems that I had with it, was that in close-ups you could have done something practical, and it just didn't feel like they did that at all. I'm not saying this movie is without its merits. It just wasn't very good. And I hated the opening crawl where it was like giving you some like facts about, like, you know, this is the date, this is where we're at, this is the account based on a chapter from Dracula. And I was like, I didn't need that last bit. Like, they're just like, here's a spoon, we're gonna shove it in your mouth, and now you know what we're doing. And it's just like, I could have waited until the lady said the name Dracula 20 minutes into the movie to figure that out. But yeah, so it's a low sidekick for me. Not a 0, but I didn't very much like it. Sean?
I'm agree with low. I actually liked it. It was a high sidekick for me. I do agree with Steve. There are some fucking moments where, you know, you just like, man, y'all could have killed this motherfucker a long time ago if you would just punch some fucking holes in the goddamn fucking shit and called it a fucking day.
It's
like, clearly you already know that sunlight fucking kills them.
It's made of wood. Lift some fucking boards.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like, instead of poking a fucking hole to fucking float to make the motherfucker sink, just fucking poke a hole in that bitch to fucking kill him. Like, goddamn, it's not that hard.
Isn't the main character like super into astronomy? Like, don't you understand how light works? And like, oh, you know, like, lift some boards.
You would think they would have made they made a lot of stupid decisions. Like,
yeah, but most horror movies they do, right? If they were smart, the movie would be 5 minutes.
Sean, I might talk you down. I might talk you down when I start talking about the end of this movie.
No, I agree with you. I remember we talked about it the other day, like a little.
Why,
no.
Why, Steve? Is it because the black guy survived?
Oh shit!
Spoiler alert, you son of a bitch! We're not even in spoilers yet.
That's all right. I couldn't wait. I thought it was hilarious. Like, once you start poo-pooing, like at the end, and I'm like, "Ooh, this is a good one."
But
but it was telegraphed because he wasn't the first one to die. So
at the same time, I liked some. I liked a lot of the kills. I liked a lot of, like, you know, the mystery of it. I love that shit. Like, I thought that was fucking cool as shit. Like, you know, one instance he was here, one instance he was there. Oh shit, the motherfucker can do all that. Oh shit, he's getting even stronger and stronger. What I didn't like at the end, like, I kind of wish he would just been a whole person thing, but like, whatever. But overall, I mean, I thought it was a fucking good movie. It wasn't as bad as everybody said it was. Like, motherfuckers was shitting on this movie, like, it was terrible, it was a piece of shit. No, it was actually not bad. I just wish that there were things that could have played into a bigger universe of this, although, like, I agree with that. This could have been a very big universe if they did it right, but they just don't know how to do these fucking monsters right, man. It doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I give it definitely a high sidekick. Yeah. So
let's get into some spoilers, because I'm curious to see if Steve can talk us down.
Spoilers.
So I do agree, Steve, here. To me, like, this is, you know, was the kind of the opening crawl, and then it took a while for us to, like, you know, you get the guy loading the box. Oh, it's cursed. Oh,
I didn't mind all that. I like all that stuff.
Actually,
but I liked it, but it seemed like it took too long.
I thought that the world that they built there, that shipyard, that docks, all that stuff looked very authentic.
It did.
I thought the people, like the costuming, the makeup department, all this stuff looked really good. That box looked heavy as shit. Now, there wasn't nothing in there in real life, you know, but that box looked heavy as shit. And when it started, you know, they was dropping around, like, but everybody knew, like, ooh, that's a Dracula box. Like, oh, yeah. That motherfucker's getting rattled around in there. He doesn't like that, you know. You gotta be careful. But
it gets that little crack open, and some of the dirt falls out.
I didn't mind that. And then they introduced this kid that's going to be on the boat, and I'm like, oh, we have a kid, so he's going to be safe, right?
I agree. I think that's what took me from a side. I think that's what took me from a sidekick to the high sidekick, was the fact that this kid did not make it. This kid had the demon eyes and burst into flames, and I was like, you know what? That's pretty ballsy of them. I like this.
I like how they just chucked his little ass into the water. They treated him like everybody should treat like a Chucky doll.
Yeah.
Like, just throw him. He's
Launches
tiny.
Yeah. But you know
I
what?
like some of this cool, like the rats leaving the ship. I thought that was a cool touch.
Yeah.
You know,
He ate all the rats.
No,
no, the rats left. They all
The
ran
rats
away.
left. Because remember, he said like why aren't there any rats on the ship?
I thought he ate those.
No, as soon as the rats catch wind of that, because it shows like when they all start walking around the ship, looking for scavenging and shit, they get wind of that crate and they all book it like fucking. They just take off and they just jump. They jump ship. But Sean, you were right. Some of these kills that we get, these early kills, I know there's one guy in particular that got like his whole throat shit ripped out. Like that didn't look terrible. It wasn't practical, but it didn't look that bad. They did a good job by doing a lot of all those scenes at night. So you you can't see a lot of that stuff. Yeah. Obviously, the ship is not lit up with LEDs or anything like that. It's candlelight, torches, that kind of shit. Always trippy that like the only way to have any light was fire and wooden boats in the middle of the ocean.
I never even thought about that shit till you just said it.
Now I'm assuming most of that wood is pretty damp, so probably hard to spark up right away. But
maybe, but
they got a lot of hay in there and shit too. It's like
lots of flammable items.
Bombs and shit.
I think like when was this to take place in like the 1700s, 1800s? Like I think most of the world was pretty flammable back then. Like they hadn't really figured out.
I mean, I agree with you, Steve. They're lucky with the CG being hidden the way it was, right? But I didn't mind. I guess because you guys were talking about like why didn't they go hunt Dracula sooner or why didn't they do XYZ faster? And I think because a lot of them didn't believe it.
I get it, but at a certain point, like all your animals are getting killed.
Yeah,
dudes are getting killed. Something's fucking up. And ship people are a superstitious bunch, especially back then. They would have been tearing that ship top to bottom.
They wanted to throw the woman off the ship because that's bad luck.
They should have.
They should have. They should have.
Why? They wouldn't have then known.
That would have been more authentic to the time. They would have.
True.
They would have chucked her ass right overboard.
Very true. Okay, I'll give you that. So,
some of this acting stuff was good. I like the captain of the ship when his kid turns to ash and gets thrown overboard. Like
that shit was fucked
he
up.
Looks that the acting was really good there.
I thought he was going to shoot himself at that one point. I thought that was a pretty tense moment when he was pointing the gun at Clemens and then at the girl, and then it was like I thought at that moment he would have just taken it to himself. That's what I really thought was going to happen. But again, I like the trap that they set, and we all knew the trap was going to fail.
Of course. And it does have some good visuals. There's those cool shots of Dracula in the sky, fucking with the lightning and shit. There are some very cool pictures to see. This trap at the end, I didn't like at all, and I especially hated the very the ending of all this on the ship where Dracula literally has homeboy like by his throat holding him up and he's just like, yeah. Like, for one, why are you taking so long? Two, like, then the girl comes and like she hits the fucking lever and like Dracula puts the guy down, turns around and goes, rah, and then gets like impaled. And I'm like, why? Like, what? And then like that's it. He's just like, wah! And then the ship goes down, and it's fucking Jack and Rose out in the water, except he doesn't freeze. She catches on fire. So it's like the exact opposite of Jack and Rose.
Yeah, I just knew she was going to survive.
But I didn't like how they dealt with Dracula here at the end. Like it seemed like he was just winning, and then all of a sudden he gets poked, and then. That's it.
Well, it was more than poke. That whole thing came down on him and kind of impaled him.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough to kill him because he fucking sure as fuck got all the way to.
Well, London. Right, but I mean, like, we know that that's not good. He didn't get impaled with a stake through the heart, right? He can get hurt, but he regenerates. So
I get where, like, I know where they needed the story to end, where they needed Dracula to be at the end, but I feel like they could have done a better job doing this. I wanted to see that ship fucking pull up to the harbor, and people walk on there and just be like, "Holy shit, what the fuck happened?" You know what I mean?
well, but I like the little news thing, like the ghost ship.
But that ship was sunk. Like, had to have been. It was on fire. It was broken.
Right, but they were close because remember they whoever was on the piers or whatever, they could see the ship, so it was probably close to being sunk. But they got out there to see if they could save somebody, and then nobody was there.
So the very end, like, our main character is like doing this voiceover that we have for some reason. Now we have voiceover in the movie, and he's like, I will hunt this beast to the ends of the earth.
Yeah,
One, he's right there. You're looking right at him. Two, you are completely unprepared for this fight. He goes walking after him down a dark hallway or dark alleyway at night, wearing nothing but like a vest and some like popper pants. Like, and I don't mean popper like pop. I mean like PAUPER, like popper pants. Like, I don't even know if he's wearing shoes. What should have happened is he should have got outside, put his fucking top hat on, had a big ass overcoat with some vampire stakes and a bandolier across his chest with a crossbow or something, and been like, I'm about to go fucking fight Dracula. Yes. Show me that. I want to see that.
His last name should have been fucking Van Helsing. Thank you. That would have been fucking awesome. Because they didn't give his name through the whole fucking movie.
Just
his last name, which is his first name. I was like, fuck, they should have used fucking Van Helsing. This would have been awesome. Like, stupid, yo. It's just stupid opportunity.
And he's just like following him down, and Dracula's just like smiling. Just like, ah.
Yeah, I wish they would have changed him to a human being. Like, I wanted him to get stronger as he went.
He still looked like a gross monster. Like, how
because he wasn't fully there yet.
But he shouldn't be out in a pub. He should
be out in the fucking public, motherfucker. Like,
you don't care at this point. He's got enough power.
I mean, this was a time of lepers and everything else.
I mean, I guess, people in England were pretty ugly back then,
right? Sorry for any of our English listeners.
No, they weren't alive back then. I said back then.
Back then.
Bunch of ugly motherfuckers.
Maybe some of their ancestors, man.
They definitely had no teeth.
I had some ugly ancestors. I'm sure you have too.
I'm sure you have too.
Mine are beautiful.
What happened to you?
I am beautiful.
Shots taken.
All right. Well, I don't think I talked you guys down, but I haven't been talked up either. So low sidekick for me, though.
No, I ain't gonna talk you up. You definitely was staying firm with your fucking hate.
Boring. I was just bored.
And that makes sense. I get that because you know what? When this started out, I was bored, and then I was like, okay, I got into it a bit, and I bought it. Maybe I gave it too many gives because I was just sitting there and I'm like,
I don't know. It's like 90% of the dialogue is two people trying to explain to the rest of the people what we as an audience know is true, but nobody believes them, and then the movie's over. And it's like,
true.
It's boring.
I get it. So, all right. Well, there you go. That is the last voyage of the Demeter. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. This is Lil.
This is Sean.
And this is Steve. And until tomorrow night, everybody, keep it creepy. He laughed through every word of that rating system.
That's fun.
it was just fun cadence. It was funny.
3, 2, 1.